Hey, I decided that I would go on live here to kind of share with a few of you that have been asking um, about my journey and why I chose to go out of the country for surgery, what's going on, what type of surgery I'm actually having. I ended up, just wanted to come on here. Sorry, my internet's not the best here. I'm on like Wi-Fi and the lighting's not the greatest, but it's not bad here. It's really nice. Receiving excellent care. Oh, hi, Dawn. So for those of you that don't know, well, let me back up. I'm kind of going to be really vulnerable here and share more than what I've been sharing so far with you guys, just in hopes to bring awareness and to this illness and maybe help somebody that possibly could be dealing with the similar symptoms that I am dealing with. And point you in the right direction if you need help. If me sharing my story helps save one person's life, it's so worth it, because I don't want anybody to go through what I've been going through. To start from the beginning, I got breast implants not because somebody told me to or that I needed to. I did them for myself. I got them in 2008, and I did plenty of research, many years. I don't know, for those of you that don't know, I was a professional cheerleader, and at one time, and when you fit into your uniform, you had to tape up stuff to make you have cleavage. Well, just that, and I was just always thin, and I didn't have much there, and I just wanted to be more proportioned with my body. So over the years, and then once I had 3 children, I was like, I'm probably not going to have any more. Why not go ahead and do this? I've always wanted to do this for myself. I've researched it for many, many years, and seemed safe. There was some issues in the 80s. I thought they resolved it. And my doctor said it was completely safe and thoroughly researched, and the only issue I would ever have to worry about would be, well, 2 things would be I can't speak very well. Capsule contraction. I can't even say it. It's basically where your scar tissue becomes really, really hard. So that would be one issue. The other would be if your body rejects it, and you would know pretty quickly, is what he said. It's like, okay. And, I'm signing all this paperwork. Of course, there were some warnings. I read this one brief warning. It was concerning mixed connective tissue disease, but it was for silicone, and I was only having saline. So I was like, oh, that doesn't apply to me. Little did I know, the shell is silicone too. So I get them in 2008, to kind of fast forward a little bit to share the history. So I get them in 2008. Sorry, I was reading some comments. And that year after I got it, I was fine. I woke up from having the surgery. I felt like I had the best sleep ever. And then I didn't even tell my husband I went under this surgery. Like, he really did not want me to do this surgery. And I did it when he was deployed. Scary and really stupid thinking back on this. But luckily I didn't have any complications during the surgery, and I had a good friend. She came with me, and was my support system. So after that year, probably about 6 months later, I started having stomach issues, and I've been really healthy up until then. I run, I dance, I lose weight when I want, I work out. I probably spend 2 hours in the gym a day, and I loved it. I love to lift weights and work out. I had really flat stomach, and I was toned. I was pretty toned, and that about 6 months in, so I got these food allergies, and then I was just tired, just really tired. And then I thought, well, I'm a mom to three, and they're little, so they ranged in ages 2 to 6 at the time. So I'm just thought, I'm busy. My husband's deployed. That's why I'm tired. And then the food allergies that came along was I became allergic to whey, casein, yeast, and eggs. I had been able to eat them my entire life before. Never had an issue, never had a rash or anything like that until after my implant. But I didn't connect that to then. I just thought I was getting older, and this is just what happens when you're older. Well, I also, during that time when I found out I had these new food sensitivities, that I had what they call leaky gut. So basically what that means is my body is not absorbing the nutrients from the food that I'm eating. So I have to, I didn't understand what that means there. So I have to take extra supplements and whatnot just to make sure I have the right nutrients in my body. Oh, loud binging? Yeah, sorry, that would be somebody messaging me on my instant messenger. Let me see if I can quit it. Hopefully it quit and it won't happen anymore. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's actually, I think, my husband. He's texting me, so he's super, super, yeah, I know. Sorry, guys. Okay, so the food allergies kicked on, and then the leaky gut. So basically, I became vitamin B deficient when I had loads of vitamin B before. and then, like anybody else, life gets in the way. I didn't stay on top of that. And then the next thing that happened was weight gain. I started gaining weight, and I thought, and depression. And I've never been a depressed person, and I had no reason to really be depressed. I mean, yeah, it's hard with 3 kids and your husband's deployed and you're in a new area by yourself and you don't know people. You really lean on your friends or what you call your family that you make and build whenever you're in the military. So, I really relied heavily on my friends. And, that depression I couldn't figure out. I'm very happy, but just this feeling of depression, it's just the weirdest thing. If you've not experienced it, it's really hard to explain, but it's just a lot of sadness. And I had no reason why I was I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why do I feel this way? I just figured, it's my vitamin B's. I'm deficient. This is causing this. So I upped my vitamin B's. And then I started just, my energy was like so shot. It was hard to even work out. So I went from working 2 hours a day, running at least 1 mile a day, if not 3 to 4, or 6. I sometimes do 6 a day, to nothing because I just couldn't do it. I didn't have the energy. And then the next symptom that came on was dry eyes, and my eyesight started failing. I again counted that towards just old age, and I thought the dry eyes was because we lived in the desert, and then dry mouth, and just always thirsty. I drink water like crazy just because I can never quench my thirst, and I took that because I live in the desert. It's not. It's a side effect of this. And then what was the next thing? I started losing my hair, and I've always had really great hair, thick hair, and not necessarily losing, it's breaking. It's dry. I don't know if you can see, but my hair has always, that's one thing I love about myself. I don't, my main thing I love is my hair. And I don't put chemicals on my hair. I've done it a few times. I went really drastic red one time, and then of course that was harsh, very harsh on my hair. So I just try not to do anything chemically to my hair because I like my hair. And my hair just naturally changes color in the sun. and I just don't have to do much to it. It's a blessing, I guess. It's something I like about myself a lot. So my hair started falling out. And then the next thing that happened was I started getting where my toes would turn numb and my feet would turn purple. And my kids would comment, like, what's wrong with your feet? They're like, purple. That didn't bother me. It didn't hurt. I just thought maybe I have poor circulation. I don't know. It's just really weird. I just never, we as moms, we don't make time for ourselves half of the time. So I just never took that to the doctor. And eventually, fast forward to this year, my feet started going numb. So my toes started going numb. They turned white, then purple, then red whenever the blood rushes back into them. It's very painful. It's cold. Doesn't matter what I do. The best thing that works for me, if I can get a hot bath, and it kind of helps take away the pain and brings back the circulation. For some reason, the hot water helps. So it started in my feet, my toes, and now it goes to my hands. So when I do it, my thumb and these 3 fingers are affected now. It used to just be one, and it's migrated to all of them. So they turn white as can be when the blood's rushed out. And then when it comes back, it's red. So it's called Raynaud's syndrome. A lot of individuals with rheumatoid arthritis have that. Unfortunately, a lot of people with autoimmune diseases have that issue. I don't have rheumatoid arthritis. I don't have any markers for that. So this summer really started where I started putting the pieces together. So this summer started with severe joint pain all over my body. I thought I was coming down with Lyme disease, and just a lot of fatigue. I couldn't move. And over the summer, so probably June, it started to happen, but then it would go away. And I just don't feel right. I feel like I'm sick. I have a mild fever. I was like, there's something wrong. And then I feel a little bit better. And then it would go back. And then I drove from Virginia back to California because we were visiting my parents for the summer with all 4 kids. And that trip back, I started getting the joint pain started coming back, and then the fatigue. I started falling asleep at the wheel. So my oldest had to finish driving for me. And when we finally got back, it seemed like my memory loss started getting worse. Like, I can't remember things. I really thought I was coming down with dementia, because I just couldn't recall things. And whenever I would go to, like over the summer, I spoke at my company's conference. Normally, I don't have an issue with public speaking, and I did it for my job for years. I've spoken, hey Brandy, I've spoken in front of thousands of Marines before and given briefs to them, and I've never had an issue. I had a huge issue over the summer. Anxiety that I never had before, panic attack I've never had before, and just trying to think of what I was going to say. I was going and I took public speaking in college, and I spoke. I have given briefs with 4-star generals and the President of the United States before, so I shouldn't have had a problem. I had a problem with this, and so I didn't pinpoint then. I just thought maybe I'm just been out of the workforce for so long, and it's just affecting me now. But now looking back, it's really what's going on is I have a silicone toxicity that's affecting every part of my body. My body's rejecting implants and triggering autoimmune responses. And because my silicone shell is made out of I think about 50 chemicals that shouldn't be in your body. One of them is silica, and the disease that they think I have is called mixed connective tissue disease, is as a result of exposure to silica. Raynaud's syndrome has also been shown to to an exposure to toluene. I think I'm saying that right. Toluene, Toulene. A lot of chemists and those in the pharmaceutical industry, if you're working with that ingredient, they have developed, because it's absorbing into their skin, Raynaud's syndrome. That is actually an ingredient in the silicone shell. So I'm having all these symptoms and getting progressively worse in August of this year. And it got to the point where I was falling asleep at the wheel. I couldn't even drive my kids to school. And I had these severe heart palpitations. Felt like I thought I was coming down with congestive heart failure because of everything that was going on. I couldn't walk. I could barely walk up the stairs without like needing to pass out almost. Then the joint pain came back, and it came back like with aggression. I've never felt having your joints, that the pain in that, I can't even explain how painful that was. I couldn't walk. I was in tears. My children saw me cry. I was in so much pain. And that was the worst, having your children see you cry. And I couldn't control it because it was so painful. And you know, and the doctors, you know, when they did my blood work, I had a lot of infection in my body. So originally they thought I had strep, and it was, I had rheumatic fever. So they put me on antibiotics and did a bunch of battery of labs, tested me for Lyme, everything you can think of. The only thing came back was strep. It was positive. So they started treating me for that, and I was on like 30 days of antibiotic, and I became resistant to it, and it didn't work. It helped a little bit, so where I could move again, I started walking, and then they didn't want to give me any more antibiotics. It just didn't do it. It wasn't enough, because the infection that they were treating wasn't the right infection. I ended up getting, so another thing with this, because I have this foreign object in my body, it's my immune system is in overdrive. It's constantly attacking this. So when we get implants and put them in, I don't know if you have them or if your surgeon told you this, for those of you that have them, your body creates a scar tissue around your implants, which is pretty impressive what our bodies do, because it protects us from this foreign object. And especially those that have silicone or gel, it should hopefully keep that in that pocket and not be absorbed by your body, ideally. But it does a lot, helps. So your body forms this scar tissue around this implant to protect you from it. It's pretty amazing what it does for us, you know. And so because it's doing this, your body's in overdrive with in an autoimmune response, and it makes you more susceptible to infections. So some women that experience this get UTIs over and over and over again. I luckily never had a UTI, but I did have a chronic infection, and that's what they're still fighting. I still have high levels of strep. I still have I have Bartonella as well, which don't know where I got that. It becomes antibiotic resistant, so they have to pair it with other antibiotics. I have to take 2 at a time, and then alternate it 30, 60, 90 days at a time. So it's a lot of antibiotics. So I have to take in a lot of probiotics and to make sure I stay healthy for the most part through this. So your body's in this constant, what is the fight or fleet? See, I can't even think straight. Fight or flight, there you go. Scenario is happening in your body. And they immediately told me I need to get them out. They have so many patients with similar symptoms that had them, same autoimmune responses, same blood work. And as soon as, oh, this can still, okay. Bummer. Can you hear me now? Okay, good. It must be just the internet. Sorry. Um, so my doctor says she has about 30 patients, all the same similar symptoms, same blood markers, positive ANAs, positive RNPs, or other autoimmune responses. And once they had their implants taken out, it went away and the blood markers were back to normal. She said, however, she has about 2 patients that they didn't improve fully. They improved about, thank you, Becky. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. About 70% better than what they were, which is a huge improvement because at times I thought I was dying. I was scared. I've never been that scared like for my life, and going through this. So what does the surgery entail? So basically my doctor says I need to get them out, so I'm doing it. The surgery is pretty invasive. They have to, the body forms the scar tissue around it. You got to remove it whole and make sure you don't break that because you don't want that liquid to go into your body. The problem with saline is the valves become sometimes faulty. So the body fluid and the salines going interchanging and that's a breeding ground for infections, which we'll find out with mine if that's the case because I have this infection that just won't go away. And she could see it on a thermography if you, it was like all here was my infection, like right here all over my body. But anyway, so to do the proper removal, you have to do what's called an en bloc, where they remove the entire scar tissue and the implant as a whole. They don't drain it, they don't cut that open until they take it away from your body. So there's no chance to contaminate yourself any more than what it's already been done. So they have to cut the scar tissue out. Then they have to, if you had it under your muscle, you're going to probably have to have muscle repair. Oh my gosh, see Brandy, she says she is 95% symptom free now that she explanted 3 months ago. That's amazing. We'll definitely heal. That's such good news. It gives me hope because I got to get my life back. I have to be there for my kids. My husband's taken off work for 4 months almost. Because I've not been able to do anything. We would have been a military family. I'm away from family. I have a lot of friends, but I'm so independent. I hate asking for help. But I've had to ask for help. I've had to ask for people to take my kids to school. People have, there's times where I can't make dinner. My husband's cooked every single day for the last 4 months. I've not done, because I can't lift it. The pots and pans, I'm so weak. I can't stand for that long to physically cook something. It's been crazy. It's crazy how you go from feeling so good to you can feel really bad. Like, when your body starts attacking itself, it's the worst in the world, and it's hard, you can't do anything really for it. Treat symptoms. So with that surgery, they have to repair your muscles. So, and sometimes the scar tissue gets stuck onto your ribs, and they have to scrape that off of your ribs very carefully. So you need a very skilled surgeon, a microsurgeon, to do this, to properly cut away the scar tissue as well without taking away the breast tissue or any more further damage to your muscles. Or puncturing a lung, because that's right there. These implants are just resting on top of vital organs, my lungs, my heart, and this chemical soup is sitting on top of those vital organs, leaching into my body. Looking back, I wish I never made that decision, but I made that decision for a reason at the time. And, given the information that was presented to me, I felt it was safe. And, you know, hindsight's always 2020, but, I'm taken on this path for a reason. And, I hope me sharing my story here helps you guys. I'm scared to death for tomorrow. I'm scared of going under anesthesia. That's one thing that, they told me. I knew I would have to have another surgery, but I thought it was either to just a simple takeout and simple replace if I wanted to later, not this very long, potentially long surgery, and a lot longer recovery time is what I'm due for. So I don't know. It's a lot more than what it was when putting them in, for sure. But I have surgery tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. And the reason why I chose Costa Rica for surgery, I never thought I would travel out of the United States for surgery, but because so many women are sick right now, all of the skilled doctors, surgeons, you can't just go to any plastic surgeon. Like I was telling you earlier, you need to have a surgeon that understands how to do a proper en bloc and full capsulectomy. Again, that's taking the scar tissue and the implant out as one whole unit. So not any plastic surgeon can do that or is skilled enough to do that, because it does take a very skilled microsurgeon for that. So in this amazing group that Nicole Dorota, I hope I pronounced her name last name right, created, she is called Healing Breast Implant Illness. In that group, they have an amazing list of surgeons that are known to do proper explanting. And on that list, there was like 5 top surgeons. So there was one in Dr. Chun. You can look him up on Facebook. He does all his, he only does explants. And if you go check out his Facebook page, you can see what it entails, and he'll open up the capsules to show you what your implants look like. Every implant you can think of, gummy bear, saline, silicone, he's taken them out and he shows you what they look like. It's scary. It's so scary. It's sad this is it's $1 billion industry, and we are at, our lives are at stake with it, because it's just scary. So these top surgeons, I went down the list. Dr. Chun didn't have any openings till end of this year, and I've been so sick, my doctor wanted him out now. So then I went into another surgeon in Florida and in Virginia, Dr. Stanwicks, and I can't think of the name of Florida. Dr. Rose, they're amazing. They just don't have openings soon enough. The earliest I could get in was at the beginning of April, and I'm just way too sick for that to wait that long. I need to get into the healing. So Dr. Zola saves dates. He's in Costa Rica here. You can look him up on his Facebook page for breast implant illness patients. He's done hundreds of them. He does them properly. He believes in breast implant illness. He gives me a full video of the entire surgery, which US doctors won't because of liability reasons. He'll give me pictures. He'll do pathology because there's a high risk for cancer in implants. So they have to take the capsule and send it off to get it tested for, it's a large cell lymphoma. It's a certain kind that's only from breast implants. There's a high risk for that. I didn't know that either. So that's another thing, because my white blood cell count is really, really, really low. So that's one thing we're kind of concerned with. So they'll do the pathology to test for molds, any other bacterias, all of that good stuff. He's going to do that. And then they have a recovery center. They have a couple of recovery centers that they recommend here And I chose one of them. Here it's called Verdeza. So I have 24/7 nurses. They bring me my food, um, any snacks, anything I need. They take care of my medicines. They do everything for me and just take care of me to make sure that I'm comfortable, and I feel safe. I posted some pictures over on my Facebook page. You can check out of my room and everything. And I really like it. It's super nice. Have great views of the mountains. I'm not here, unfortunately, to sightsee, which I wish I could, but I physically can't do that. I can't do it now, and I won't be able to do it after surgery either. So I think that's it. So that's the reason why I did it. And another thing was cost. I couldn't afford the aftercare in the States and the surgery. Um, it would just been I would probably be spending $30,000 to $40,000 in the States for this surgery with the aftercare that I'm receiving here. Whereas here I'm spending $11,000, which isn't bad. It's still a lot of money for a ridiculous decision that I made years ago that I'm paying for now, but it's so worth spending that. It's just money when it comes to your health. You do what you have to get yourself better. So I hope and pray that I don't have permanent damage and that I do fully recover from this, and I'll be able to give you guys good news. I do know that it's going to take a while for me to detox, because this has got into all of my body. I probably have mold. I believe I forget what the exact percentage are that have mold from saline. Mold and silicone both can mold. The silicone more so, or not silicone, the saline more so than the silicone. But if that's the case, I'll have to do a lot of mold detoxing and get that taken care of as well. And then we can treat my infections that I have head on. Um, but that's my little story for right now that I can think of. Yeah, Brandy says Dr. Zola is the best. He saved your life. I will. I'll tell him. He's super amazing. The thing that made me almost cry, I cried to think about, is that he genuinely cares, and he took down all of my symptoms and put him down. So he's tracking this, and he's sending information into the the FDA and these manufacturers about our illnesses. And he told me, he's like, I am a surgeon, but my number one priority is making you healthy again and making sure you're safe during surgery. He's like, I need to get you back to your family and especially to your baby. And he's just so caring. He's like, you are family to me when you're under surgery, and I'm going to take the best care of you. So he really, really cares about us and wants the best for us. So I had to recommend him. I haven't even had surgery with him yet. So tomorrow, I don't know if I'll give you an update tomorrow, but I will try to do something. I'll be heavily sedated, and I don't know how I'll react after this anesthesia, but I hope to have some good reports. It's going to take a while for this to detox. Some women, it took 4 years to recover, but they recovered. So I have a long road to healing, but if I can just be 70% better than what I've been, that'll be life-changing, and just so I can function. Biggest thing is carrying my baby or going to the grocery store. I haven't even went to the grocery store in such a long time. Just simple things that I took for granted every day that I'm really looking forward to do. I'm even looking forward to cleaning my house. I just haven't been able to do that in such a long time. So tomorrow's surgery, you could just remember me in your prayers. I greatly appreciate that. And That Kylie, yes, yes, definitely. He's the top surgeon for explanting. He's really great. He's amazing. So I feel comfortable. I feel like I'm in good hands. I feel like God led me here. I was praying and praying, and I don't know. Somebody posted something, and that made me start thinking it could be my implants. And the further I went down this rabbit hole, I knew 100%, confirmed it with my doctor, and then made the decision and just went for it. And here we are. um, Thank you guys. Thank you for your prayers. Please keep me in your prayers, and I will try to post something tomorrow. I probably won't go live until a few days after, just to give myself time to recover a little bit. Thank you, Melissa. And thank you all for being here with me, listening to my story. If you know somebody who has them or has some symptoms similar, please share them, tag them. They're welcome to message me. Tell them to search up Healing Breast Implant Illness. There's a huge Facebook group that they can join with over 60,000 women that are having these similar symptoms. So my goal is to help somebody, and I hope this does. All right, thank you all. Love you all.